Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Invicta Specs. Your humble tour guide here, John the Phone Guy, and we're going to run through what I've noticed and others that have been on this channel and Invicta collectors around have dubbed the Graffiti. This is the latest one. You can see it's got the green on the subdial, Z60 and everything. What's really different about this is, if you can tell, it really has some very subdued or muted colors on it, kind of like that vintage classic, like that you'd see graffiti on some walls and everything that's kind of weathered. So very cool. Actually, this is going to be somewhat a two-part. I have not sized this, so this is a bit unusual because I really wanted to get everyone to see all the detail. And when we put this under the microscope, I just can't wait. I'm going to be super excited. So with that, I'll also link a sizing video that I'll be doing for this and show everyone how I size all my graffitis and general watches for the most part. So with that, let's jump onto the bench and really take a look at this guy. Hey everybody, here we are on the bench, and we have the Bolt Zeus graffitied. I want to call it the muted edition. I don't think that's an official term, but I'm going to go with it. This is model 34884. This is a 53 millimeter Zeus. Water resistance is 20 atmospheres, 200 meters, 660 feet. This is run in the mineral crystal. With a Ronda Z60. Takes the 395 battery, about 4-year battery life, and standard deviation -10 to +20 seconds a month. So we're going to take a look at this, and we're going to jump right over to the microscope, because looking at the details of this is just absolutely stunning. So let's jump over to the microscope and then we'll come right back. Hey everybody, so here we are under the microscope, and I've adjusted the scope to try and get a little bit bigger picture, because I really want to focus on the graffiti aspect of this. So I have taken the micro adjuster out so I could kind of lay this thing flat. But anyway, let's kind of get into the main dial here. Of course, this is the Ronda Z60, so you've got your constant running seconds over here, day of the week over here, your 30-minute chronograph, and the day of the week, Saturday, Sunday, and all that. So we've got a little bit of like a orange coloration right here, and of course you got the green and the yellow, and you got the yellow on the second chronograph hand, and just all of the amazing color details. But with that, and I'm going to try and see how I can do this. So this is the end down here, and let me see if I can get focus a little bit better. There we go. And what you can tell is how much all of this like layers into one another from a graffiti standpoint. Like this little line that follows along and goes in here, and then as the bracelet moves along, you can see how this symbol right here interlaces with all these different pieces. And then you've got this red that comes in, and all of this. Of course, we're looking at from the, so this is the bottom. So just to give you a perspective, that's the hole where the micro adjuster goes in. And obviously, we've got our cotter pin style. You can see the little slice right there. So I'm going to be doing a sizing video on this. But what's also interesting, and you can kind of pick it up here, but see how there's like, almost looks like there's a texture, which if I run my finger over it, you can actually feel the texture. But anyway, so let's get back to this. So now we're up here closer to the watch, and we start seeing the cable that was dipped with it at the same time, and we're coming into the the watch itself. So we'll kind of set this, and let me go to the side. So we're now at the 9 o'clock side where you get the cables and the relief. And of course you can tell, like right here, you know, obviously this section, which is your bezel, was dipped independent of this, which is your case, right? And you can kind of see some of the colors in here. And I believe, let me see if I can get this right. So I apologize. This is kind of tricky, but I'm trying to do the best I can. So here is the bracelet, right? So this is all the bracelet here. Here's your lug system coming through here. And you've got like this 100 that's running through. So you can see all of this was dipped together because you can see the unity. Like, see, you can see the physical line of separation, but you can see the colors and the patterns that flow through. And of course, here we are on the side of the 3 o'clock, which has your function pushers and the twin cables. And we've got our crown, which is a screw down crown, but the function pushers are not. Then we got our other function pusher, and then we're gonna lay this in here. So now we're on the 6 o'clock side, right? So we're down here, so you can see how all of this comes across, and you can see that right in here that this piece was not dipped with this because there is a slight separation, and you can kind of see it on here. All right, so you're not getting the flow. So it's interesting to look, and each one of these watches, I have a few of these Graffitis. Each one of these are very different in how they're dipped. Because like I said, over here at the 12 o'clock, you can see how there's a pattern that follows, you know, pretty closely from one piece to the other. Especially right in here, like you can really see right here. But let me go back to the 6 o'clock. So you can see, like right here, it almost spells out the word music right here. It's a little bit off, but I think you can kind of get the gist of it. And let me focus again as we change depth. So here we are, and we're going down the 6 o'clock side. So you've got all of this pattern that's coming through here, and you got the links, and all of this is rotating. And here's a really good one. So you can see right here on this music, you know, you can follow the M and the U, and then it tapers off, and then you've got this piece that's coming down. Now, unfortunately, and this is why I really wanted to do this video with the watch intact as it was shipped to me, because, I mean, let's face it, I've got to size this. So what I can't change is this one, right? Because here's the bracelet and the attachment point. So this is the very bottom link. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm probably going to have to take 1, 2, possibly 3. So depending on which way I do this, I can't remember. I want to say it may be 2, but it may be 3. I just have to play around with it when I do the sizing. But with all that being said, I just really wanted to take a really good look at how all of this is done from a graffiti standpoint, and the dipping and, you know, hydroplating and all of that, which I'm sure a lot of people have seen different videos, and, you know, like motorcycle parts and all of that. And then of course we've got some of the detail on the bezel where the cable runs through and all of that. So it is a very unique piece, and so you can see how there's like these little dots, right? And with my hand, like I can literally feel that texture, which is pretty cool. And then of course, just want to show you the inside, or the back of it. So this is part of the material that they layer with the watch as a prep step to adhere with the dipping. And you can kind of see where some of it right there kind of bled through, you know, from the front, you know, from the outside to the inside, which is kind of cool when they're doing it. In fact, right down, focus again, right down here, you can see some bleed over that kind of wrapped around from the other side. So that's pretty cool, in my opinion. So, but with all of that, let me throw this guy back up to the front here, and really enjoyed that look at a Graffiti up close. So I hope y'all did too. So let's head back to the bench. And here we are back from the microscope. So let's pop this guy out. I put everything back in here to start. So we'll set this guy off to the side here. And I'm sure I smudged a few things in moving stuff around. So let me get all cleaned up. And with that, you know, we can kind of see all the detail here with what we saw under the microscope. And you got your cables and all the dipping underneath and all of that. So I won't belabor the point on all of that. So, you know, we got the Zeus and all that stuff. So I'll show it to you on my wrist. Of course, this is not sized. And what I'm going to do is I'll do a sizing video, but you can kind of see, you know, how large a wrist. I mean, I'm almost up to my elbow for me. But you can see just how well it's made as far as being comfortable. But with that, let's jump in on the specs here and get some measurements. So I get, let me see if I can. So I get 55.1, and they're calling it 53. So it may just be a slight deviation in where I'm measuring versus them. So if I go right here, I get 52.1. So we'll go with what the first one was. I get 21.8. The lug span, I get 38.3. Top of this, 34.7 down to 25.9. Thickness on these links, 5.5. Span on this, we're going to go right to the edges here. So I get, we'll call it 52.8 on that. And grab the scale over here and take a look at this. So we're in grams to start. So we're at 406 in grams. And we'll reset in ounces. So 14.3. And for a Zeus full bracelet, and as I've said, this is an unsized version. I wanted to go ahead and kind of show everybody what this looks like before I size it, because obviously I am going to have to take quite a few links out for me. But I just wanted to show the overall design and everything about it, and all of that. And of course you got your green subdials and all your colors in here, which is just really cool. I'm probably gonna link a video up here somewhere of the bracelet sizing, so I'll attach something, and I'll put something on the end too, probably just for you guys to take a look at that video. So I should have that done and ready by the time this comes out, so they'll both be there. But just a unique timepiece. I love the muted colors on here, very different. And with that, give a few shout outs. And we'll give a shout out to Smitten by Invicta on Instagram, Invicta Watches and Women's Fashion, and of course YouTube sensations Trap Vision 3D and the Lifestyle page, talking about all things collecting and family, and of course Tommy Big Time, focusing on bracelet sizing and battery changes and everything Invicta. Of course, Meat and I, journaling their weight loss surgery and entrepreneurship, and of course D&Q, chronicling travel and food and fun. Tony Woe, Christian rapper, and his music and life perspective. And of course, I want to give a shout out to Unboxed Sneaks. Has a great show illustrating men's sneakers and the lifestyle and fashion that goes with it. And of course, we do most of our shopping on SHOPHQ, BULLDOG Shopping Network, InvictaStores.com, and obviously shout out to Facebook groups, InvictaVets, and all of the rest. There's literally hundreds of them out there. So do a search and find something that fits with your lifestyle and your collection. And I'm sure you probably can find multiples. So, but with that, let me just finish up the video, and we'll see you in a second. And there we have the Bolt Zeus muted graffiti. And I'm kind of have to hold this up here for a second, you know, because like I said, I haven't sized it. So with, you know, I have a 7-inch wrist, and that's kind of how big it sits on me. I think I have to take about 2 or 3 per side, but like I said, I'll link the sizing video that I'll be doing in the like up above or whatever. I'll mention, as you saw, I mentioned it, and I'll probably even maybe, you know, put a playlist over here for it or something. Well, depending on whether you're watching on a, if you're on like an iPad, it's down here. If you're on a PC, it's up here. I don't know. Anyway, but with all that, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please subscribe, hit the bell, all that good stuff. Thanks for all the comments and kind words. They really do mean a lot. And with that, I say enjoy your Invicta timepieces, and I hope to see you next time on Invicta Specs. Take care.